How's it going? I'm Tobin, episode 13 in my razor review series, the Quantum Razor from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. Real briefly, a while back I kicked off a giveaway for two $20 gift cards to Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I purchased those as a way of saying thank you to my audience for your support in 2024. I have those two winners. The first winner, Adam Barbara, please contact me. My link tree is in the description below. And also Big Bad Wolf, congratulations, link tree in the description below. Just reach out to me and I'll get you the code that you need to use at checkout. All right, using the same format that I've used in the previous 12 videos, I break that format down in episode 1 and a little bit in episode 2. First, we're going to look at the efficiency score. This razor comes with two different base plates. So you got your stainless steel top cap, and then it comes with two separate bottom base plates made out of copper. The more efficient one, the more aggressive one, is called the Alpha, and the milder one, or the less efficient of the two, is called the Omega. The blade gap on the Alpha is 0.020 of an inch, and the Omega is 0.015 of an inch. Now, you got angle and exposure that also matter, and one of the ways that this, what really makes this razor more efficient, or what really makes the Alpha more efficient than the Omega, is I try to capture it with the photos. If you take a look closely at the part of the video there, or the part of the photo there where I have the arrow pointing, you can see that there's like these little plates, these little lips that are, it's changing the angle of the blade, and also the exposure is slightly different. So it's not just the gap that is changed on this. If you take a look like at the Rockwell, you're basically just getting a bigger gap. That's not the only thing that's going on here. The Alpha does have a slightly bigger gap. However, the angle is changed because of the way that taper there is, but then also the exposure, because of the way that that's tapered, it's a little more like drawn back, and it's just like a fraction. I had to pull out my little tool and measure it. It's small, but it is there. So the more efficient one, the Alpha, I'm giving a score of 6. 5 being average. It's a little more efficient than average. And then the Omega, I'm going to give it a 4. I've been shaving with this for 3 or 6 months now, probably like 6 or 8 months. I don't know. I purchased it a while back when it returned. It has returned. It's back and it's available right now, January 2nd, 2024 at Phoenix Artisan's website. When I purchased it, it was $120. It is still $120. So the Alpha plate efficiency 6, and the Omega plate an efficiency of 4. And of course, you can change that with a very sharp blade or not so sharp blade. It's fantastic. I love the way this razor shaves. Next, we're going to look at the Symmetry Score, the knurling, how grippy the handle is, the texture of the handle, the blade tabs, whether or not they're exposed, and then the weight and balance of the handle. I love the knurling of this razor. We've seen this type of knurling before on other razors from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and it's super grippy without feeling sharp to my hand. It's super grippy. If you've experienced some of Phoenix Artisan's other razors, you might be familiar with this one. My Quantum is more grippy, more knurly than the other ones like it in my den. Mine might be an exception, I don't know, but regardless, it's the same kind of knurling on that stainless steel handle. The blade tabs, they do not stick out at all. There is no overhang, so if that's a concern for you, don't worry about it. There aren't any blade tabs sticking out. The weight and balance is perfect. You can remove this flare tip, and when you do that, the razor becomes about 3 inches, or if you put the tip back on, it ends up being a total length of 3.75. The tip measures I measured it about 7/8 of an inch. So when you apply it, you get a 3.7 inch long razor, and it doesn't matter whether or not you have the tip on or not, the balance, it stays great. it really doesn't affect the balance all that much. It does a little bit. You have to shift where you hold it just a scotch, and you might not even have to do that either, depending on the size of your hands. For a Symmetry Score, I'm going to give it a 10. There's really no place that I can ding this razor when it comes to a Symmetry Score. A 10. Next, we'll look at the Permanence Score, durability, and construction material. So that top cap is stainless steel. I believe it's 316. I looked, but then I forgot, and I didn't write it down. That's my bad, but that's what it is right there. I want to say it's 316. Then you have the copper. Both base plates are made out of copper. There's only like 2 grams difference in the weight, the alpha being a little heavier. And then the bottom piece that comes with it, the flare tip, is brass. So you have stainless steel, copper, and brass. I don't see any reason why this razor isn't going to outlive me. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't last for generations, why it wouldn't be an heirloom piece. It is made extremely well. It's, again, one of those razors that is just solid. It's rock solid. For durability and construction materials, I'm going to give it a 10. Friendliness to new wet shavers. Now, because of the price, I wouldn't recommend it for a very first razor, but a second, third, or fourth razor, if you've already gotten your feet wet with wet shaving, I would recommend it, especially if you can afford it, because you do have that 4 on the Omega and then the 6 for an efficiency score on the Alpha. So I think you're really, pun intended, you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you've gotten your feet wet with wet shaving, I would recommend it. So because of the price though, I would only give it an 8 for referring it to new wet shavers. It's not like an easy recommendation to a brand new wet shaver, but at the same time, if you got the money, I highly recommend it. Value, with everything up above, taking what we've already discussed into consideration and how much, I like this razor and everything that plays into whether or not I feel like I got my money's worth. I do feel like I got my money's worth. This is an extremely unique razor. I do find myself a lot of times using the Omega plate, and then I'll throw a Kai in it or another sharp blade. I really like Kais in this particular razor. Feathers, not so much, but a Kai inside that Omega plate, man, I get a killer shave every time. I've been playing with this razor a lot ever since the live that I did with Doug and Fran, and I learned that this razor was coming back. I've just started playing with it more, trying to figure out, its limits and stuff like that. And if I throw a Kai into the Omega plate 3-pass, man, it is just a baby butt smooth, damn fine shave every single time. Same thing with the Omega plate. Because of the angle, if I put a Kai in it, I might end up nicking myself if I'm not super careful. But it is so easy to get a damn fine shave, no matter which plate you go with, just a matter of preference. So for a value, I'm going to give it a 9. And in this series, the biggest little big thing for me in these series is value. And I feel like this razor has the value covered. It's unique. It shaves like a dream. And then you'll be able to change the base plates. It's a kick-ass razor. It really is. I love it. I recommend it. A value of 9. If you've got the money and you can afford it and you're looking for a new razor, I would recommend the Quantum razor from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I'm biased, I did pay for it, but I'm a fanboy and I do suffer from razor acquisition disorder. Kind of like Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Take care, you guys. I'll see you next time. Happy New Year.